Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Cassie. So in today's video is going to be a continuance of our living room deep clean reset. If you haven't seen video 1, go back and take a look at that and you'll know exactly where we're at today. So I've already taken the rug outside. Here we are on the driveway and I'm going to get this deep cleaned. We are pressure washing it. And I'm going to show you exactly what solutions I'll be using. This is Purple Power degreaser. I'm going to use a splash of this. I'm going to use a splash of Dawn dish soap, excuse me. And I did throw in a Tide Pod. I'm going to let this dissolve and then we're going to get started. I would recommend to do your rugs like this because nothing gets your rug cleaner than pressure washing. And even if you have a really good shampooer, I just feel like those machines just don't really get your rugs deep clean. They get the surface cleaned and maybe some of what's in the carpet, but nothing gets your rugs cleaner than pressure washing, in my opinion. So we're going to get started with this, and as you can see here, it doesn't even look like it's that dirty, but this rug was filthy. I had pressure washed this, as you'll see, and then at the end, it'll look like it's clean. And I was like, okay, it's clean. So I let it sit out in the driveway and get some sun on it because the sun is a great way for it to dry. It takes a long time for it to dry if you're going to leave it just out in the driveway. But I left it out there a few times. I kind of moved it around on the driveway from one spot to the next because, of course, your concrete underneath the rug is going to be wet. So I'm trying to get at least some of the water out of the rug. I knew it wasn't going to all come out and I knew there was rain coming. So I let it sit out as long as I could and then I drug it into the garage. I did not get footage once again of me using my shampooer to abstract the water that was still remaining in the rug. But I really wish I did because even though it looked so clean, after I pressure washed it, once I brought it into the garage and I started to abstract the water was black. And I was like, how can there still be so much dirt in this rug? And what I've come to find out is that if you don't use your shampooer to abstract the water that's in the rug, you're not going to get it completely clean because even though you're cleaning the surface like I am right now, deep clean it with a pressure washer, the dirty water is still remaining under the rug. And once you clean it, the top surface is going to look clean. But if you don't get that dirty water that is at the bottom of the rug on the back, it's just going to absorb right back into your rug. And you're not going to have a clean rug. It's still going to be filthy. So it's very much important for you to use your shampooer to abstract the remaining water from your rug. Like you can see right here, I'm halfway through, and you can see the filth is running down my driveway. My driveway is on a hill, so I'm wanting for the water to go in that direction. But still, I was so amazed how much dirty water was still in my rug, even though the surface was really, really clean. Um, so if I ever do this again, I definitely will not leave that footage out, and I truly do apologize. I really wish I could have shared that with you guys. But moving on, I wanted to take a moment and say I am so sorry for this video getting up a few days late than when I just posted the first part one of deep cleaning my living room. So I've had some life obstacles come into play into my life and has caused a delay with me editing my videos and getting them out. Um, One was I got into a recent car accident. Don't worry, I'm fine. Everybody's fine. It was traumatizing to say the least. Um, my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, was with me, just her and I, and we were heading to Walmart, and we were at a complete stop at a stoplight intersection. There was two cars in front of me, and as we were sitting at the red light, um, I reached my left hand into the back to get the window to go up because it was so hot and humid, and I wanted to turn the AC on. Well, while I had my hand kind of twisted back behind my seat, trying to roll up my window, all of a sudden I got this burst of joltness from behind. The person that came up behind me hit me, which caused my car, even with my foot on the brake, caused my car to move forward so hard that I hit the person in front of me. She hit the person in front of her. And it was just like, oh my gosh. Um, I was just like, I cannot believe this is happening because if you don't already know, 6 months ago, I was in a car accident and totaled my car. And um, I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening. It shook me up so much. So the person that hit me from behind was a teenage boy. He had his child and I guess his girlfriend in the car, and he does admit that it was his fault. But I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. My heart was pounding. It was just bringing back post traumatic stress from my first incident in the car accident that I was in 6 months ago. Um, Amazingly, nobody was injured. Amazingly, no damage, significant damage was done to my car or the two cars in front of me. The two women in front of me were okay. Um, they were more assisting me because I was very traumatic, shooken up because I was just in a car accident again, and it kind of it scared me. It scared me so much. Um, and I was also so glad that my youngest son wasn't with me because he would have been in the back seat, and he's already traumatized from the first incident. Because in my first car accident back in August, I had both my daughters and my son with me. If you want a little backstory on that, I'll tell you. So, back in August, I took my kids to the dentist, and when we were leaving, I was making a U turn, and all of a sudden, a car came out of nowhere, came up to on my right side, my driver's side, hit me, and it knocked me out. It knocked me out cold. Um, when I did come to, all I could hear was my two daughters screaming, help my mom, she's not coherent, she's knocked out, help my mom." And then I had heard that and I came to, and the first thing when I opened my eyes, I saw my son standing outside the passenger seat door, where he was sitting, and all I kept saying was, "Get out of the road, get out of the road." And yeah, so thank thankfully we were near a fire department, and my girls rushed over and got help. And one of the fire department men, the firemen, came over, and I remember him saying, ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he says, "Can you climb out the passenger side because we cannot open your door?" I was still going in and out of consciousness, so he kept talking to me and asking me if I was okay, if I could move. And I had looked down at my right hand because my right hand was tightly closed. And I pried my hand open with my left hand, and I had noticed that my necklace of my mother was in my hand. And I was like, okay. But then when I really looked at it, I was like, the clasp on my necklace wasn't even open. So I was like, how did it even get off my neck? How did it get off my neck? How did it end up in my hand? How did my hand end up so tightly closed holding this necklace? It was so weird. But on the other hand, I just totally believe that my mother was there. My mother saved us because when you look at the accident, if the car that hit me would have, if my car was out in the road like a foot or two more, she would have hit me dead on my driver's side door. And I guarantee you that would have either paralyzed me, I would have lost my legs, or I could have died. Um, but I was grateful that that did not happen. She just totally caved in my right side tire and the car was totaled. But I was thankful that we were in a very sturdy, well made Lincoln car. And because I don't think it would have survived the damages that it did receive if it was a different kind of car, because cars are made so poorly nowadays. But yeah, I was so grateful that nobody was hurt. Um, but I got past that, and it's taken me a very long while to even get back in a car and drive. So I've literally only been driving my car that my son bought me back in December for Christmas. He bought me a car to help me get around. It's a great, reliable car. I'm very grateful to my son that he was gracious and generous enough to buy me a vehicle, knowing that my other car was totaled and I had no longer had transportation to get around. Um, I'm very, very grateful, very, very grateful to my son. I'm very proud of my son. He is such a wonderful son. Yeah, but like I said, it's only been about a month since I've been driving this car, and um, I'm just like, I cannot believe I just got into another car accident. So that's what happened, and everything is okay. My car's okay. My daughter's okay. I'm okay. Everything's good. It's just something that happened, and I thought I would share it with you. Also, just yesterday, as I was trying to finish up editing this video, something else happened. So I was outside and I was doing a little bit of yard work, blowing off the driveway, blowing some leaves around. And I have a tree at the end of my driveway that has moss in it. It's common for all these trees around here to have moss in them because they do. We have a lot of um, big trees that produce moss. So whenever they're hanging down, I tend to pull it, pull it out of the tree. Well, this time I was pulling on it. I pulled it out, I flung it, I continued to blow, and then I realized something was burning on my neck. And I felt like it kind of felt like a cigarette amber, that would fall off your cigarette. Um, it felt like it fell in my shirt, like it was burning. And I was like, ow, what was that? And then all of a sudden it got really intense. So I dropped the blower and came inside and I was screaming for my son, ow, 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 something hurt. He thought that I might have got into some bull ants. But when I said it was stinging, it was stinging. He realized I got stung. Yeah, I definitely got stung by some hornet's nest, wasp nest, whatever it may have been. I think it was wasp. Um, but I got stung on the back of my shoulder, my left side, repeatedly, like 7 or 8 times, and on my forearm. And he knew exactly what to do. He told my other daughter, he says, get the vinegar, get the baking soda, make a paste. And he rubbed that all over my shoulder and my forearm. And like a charm, the pain started to subside. But man, did that hurt. Not as bad as horseflies. If you've ever been attacked by horseflies, you'll know that kind of pain. But I have never been stung by bees or wasps, and let me tell you that hurts. And I don't want that to ever happen again. So yeah, I'm done with cleaning outside for a while. So yeah, those are my life turn events that has happened that has caused a little delay in my videos. I truly apologize for that, but I'm grateful that you guys are here and we're gonna finish up this living room. So now that we're back inside and I've already showed you I've cleaned off all my shelves and I've just now wiped off the leaves off this fig tree, which is not real, it's fake, but I love it. And I wiped off the lantern, so everything is clean now. So now we're going to work on the floor. I'm going to give it a good vacuum and a mop. I am going to say a little surprise here. I did not add the rug back to my living room. I was going to, and my son had walked by and says, "It looks better without it." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "It looks better without it." And I was like, "It does?" I was a little hesitant because I don't like the tile. I hate tile. Um, I've had bad experience with having tile where anything that falls, it breaks immediately. I've lost a lot of things to tile. So I always put a rug down. And I wanted to kind of take away from the design of the tile with adding a rug because honestly, I just don't want tile. I wish it was all cohesive wood, but unfortunately, we're in a rental and that's just not how they did it. I hope in the near future that they replace the wood flooring and make it all cohesive. But if they don't, it might get done if we do it ourselves because we are looking into purchasing this home. And I'll keep you updated on that. I don't know for sure, but it's not going to be our forever home, but it would definitely be a starter home to continue to work on and pass down to my children. Um, but in the meantime, we're trying to make the best of the way it is. So my son said, it looks better without it. And I contemplated on putting the rug back. And then I started thinking, maybe it does look better without it because I was in the first place trying to disguise the tile by adding a rug so that you wouldn't see the tile. But actually, I was adding to the problem of making it look um, 3 times worse. It was tile, carpet, and wood. So I chose to leave the rug off for now, and it is currently rolled up in my garage. Um, I might move it around and put it in my son's room, take the one out of my son's room, and move it. I'm not sure. I was trying to see if it would fit in my dining room area where my cats are, but it's too big. So that's not going to happen. But here is an overview of how everything turned out. Everything's so nice and clean, and I feel like without the rug, it looks a lot better. It looks airy, it looks clean, so we're going to see how that works out. So thank you for spending the day with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.